Well, we're up and running. It's not the sunniest day in the world, but we're still making some real good power. And instead of doing some info on solar panels and voltages, I decided that's going to be a whole other video in itself. I just thought I'd kind of do an overview of how this system works and what it does. It's about 3 in the afternoon, and I did finish up wiring in the attic last night. The old array right now is putting out 801 watts, and the new array is putting out 774. They never will be identical because solar panels aren't identical. And we're selling 1,000 watts back to the grid, and we're supporting 300, like refrigerators, things like that. So pretty pleased with it. I'm glad that I finally got it done, and I'm happy with it. And come tax time, I'll get half of what I spent on the new array back, or more than half actually, between state and fed. And look at the meter go, she's rolling backwards. I can't wait to see it on a cold day, or actually middle of the summer day, but especially a cold winter day when it could potentially be putting out 2,000 watts continuous anyway. So it's pretty cool. Now what I think is the coolest part about this system is this inverter. Because this is battery backup, grid tie, it's a charger, does everything. And this is an Outback GTFX2524, and it's really cool. So I'm just to add on to here, I'm going to go ahead and show you this thing in action. So let's remember where we're at on our watts. We're roughly 750 watts a piece, and our battery voltage is 26.4. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the power off and show you how seamless it is, and we're going to be well ahead of the loads that we're using right now. As you can see, I didn't get very far last night. I actually ended up in the attic a lot longer than I thought. But I'm going to go ahead and shut the main power off to the house. Now the lights in here and that radio that's on are on that inverter, or they will be on that inverter as soon as I hit this handle. So this just show you how quick the thing is. So we still got our lights and radio still rolling. I still got to clean up. This place is a mess. And you can see the voltages are climbing big time because it's actually charging the batteries now because it's ahead of the loads. So right now we're showing inverting 300, AC loads 300. No AC in, and the rest is actually going into charging. And you can see the lights are starting to blink more and more, which means it's going to go ahead and top off the battery's excess power. Pretty cool. And real quick, I want to show you what island protection is. This is actually the plug that goes to the inverter, and this is what it is. It means it can't feed anything back. So if there's a power outage and somebody needs to work on the lines or something like that, there's just nowhere, no way to get shocked. So most inverters do that. Even the cheesy ones have what's called island protection. Alright, so now I'm going to turn the power back on, and it's not going to switch right away. The inverter's actually going to look at it for a second, and then it'll switch over. So now it's seeing the power coming in, and then it's going to switch back over. It's going to make sure the batteries are topped off, and then it's going to start grid tying again. So that light on the left there blinking, here in a second we'll switch and go solid. There it goes. And see, it's buying 400 watts right now, and then it's going to start selling the power again, but it takes a few minutes for it to do it. So it's all switched back over, back to selling 800. We're supporting 400 watts of loads in the house, just my designated circuits. And we're putting out roughly 1,500 watts of solar, which is pretty good for 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30 now, whatever time it is. But having the power go out now kind of changes the game a little bit with all that power, because it's pretty much going to take care of what I got running, and it's going to charge batteries, and the solar is actually going to back off. So that would be a time where you'd want to look for something to use, something to do. Actually you could wash clothes, you could do a load of laundry, you couldn't use a dryer, you could run a crock pot, you could run a window unit, no problem, if you had to keep a room cool. So there's lots you can do with it. But, you know, if you have access, you do want to try to use it, but it doesn't really matter. Well, I think I'm going to go do some painting now. Hope this helped. I was hoping to be done with the painting last night, but I spent more time in the attic than I thought. Dummy me, I'd forgot that I added a foot of insulation in there. I had to drag most of that out of one end anyway, to do the wiring. And I did do some footage of that. So I'll try to toss that on there. You guys have a good one. See you. So I said I wasn't going to do any of the attic stuff. I pulled a bunch of insulation out of here. I still had to crawl down there. And it gets a little tricky when you feed a solid piece of wire right through a combiner box and do the bug nuts and all that, or split nuts. And this is the main one that hooks up to that, I guess you call it trunk line, big wire that goes downstairs. So I'm almost done. Almost. And then it's time for a beer. So there you go, we're all put together. And I can't stress hard enough ever with solar, if you want to get every bit of it out, you're going to need to run some wire, some big wire, some good wire. And you know, if you ever want to go do this stuff, you want to do it right, consult an electrician or get yourself an NEC book, which is National Electrical Code. Of course, that's going to be the most confusing reading you've ever done. But I try to do it right. I try to show it right, even though it's different from how some of the other people do it. Done. Yes. Now I'm going to put all that insulation back, and in the morning we'll see if she's got a heartbeat or not. We'll see what happens.